This is an Undiscovered Legacy production and proud member of Pod Nation Media Network.
You're going to be making mistakes upon learning. The thing is, I don't know everything. I don't. And I don't want to know everything right now. So having an I don't know, so many people that are afraid to not know. They're afraid to be wrong because if they don't know, they feel guilty about that. And if they are wrong, they feel shame, believe it or not. That's why people will defend themselves to the hilt for saying that they were wrong because they don't want to admit they were wrong and the shame they're going to feel around it. Isn't that, to me, that is just bizarre. Because I love being wrong and I love not knowing. And those are things you want to love because that opens up your mind to finding out.
Salutations, Skoob believers, and we are here again with another amazing entrepreneur. Today we're here with Steve. Hey, Steve, how's it going?
I'm good, Skoob. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to be on the Undiscovered Entrepreneur. Get across the start line. Super appreciate you.
Thank you for having me on the show. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. So before we get started here, I do have kind of one little semi-serious question to ask you. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Are you a Skoob believer?
I have been a Skoob believer forever. And I will continue to be forever.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for being a Skoob believer, Steve. I super appreciate you. That's awesome. Okay, so what I like to do here up front with all my guests is just kind of get an idea of who you are, what your entrepreneur adventure is, and how you got across the start line in your entrepreneur adventure.
I'm 70 years old this September, so it goes back to, I would say, 1980. My father was in the flower business, second generation. I couldn't work a day ever with my father, so I was heading off to Europe to study floral design at the age of 21, 22. And I get a call. He was at an FTD convention in Kansas City, Missouri. And I get a phone call saying that your father's had a full-blown stroke. Don't leave. We need you to run the flower business. So fast forward 30 years, I brought a $200,000 business to $2 million a year in flowers. That's a lot of roses. Yeah. So that was my first entrepreneurial venture. And then now I'm doing my coaching business and I'm starting over from scratch, not selling flowers, but selling personal development and awareness. So that's my passion right now. And I don't think I'm ever going to retire. I love what I do and it's my passion. So anyone out there starting a business, I want to say, don't give up. The first 5 years is grueling. Build your stack, build your brand, build your everything, and just stack it up because you're going to have lots of time unless you've come in at the starting gates busy, but it's not usually the case. So for all the people out there, don't give up because I'm telling you, I'm experiencing it now and the floodgates are about to open. So I'm excited and prepared.
That's fantastic. And I love the fact that you're starting over at, no offense or anything, but at the age you're at. A lot of people would actually be scared of doing something like that because it's like, okay, I'm 70 and I have no idea what I'm doing. Why am I getting into this? That really makes me feel good. I know Colonel Sanders from Kentucky Fried Chicken, he started when he was 65, right?
I know.
It's amazing to me how we could do something like that. We're actually getting to a point now where people, even though they're a little bit older, are able to latch onto the technology actually a lot easier than they used to be able to do that. So I love that. That's awesome. And I love how you went from a flower business to a coaching business, which are two completely different types of things. But there's a lot of similarities in that too, don't you think?
There are. We're selling emotions. And now I'm dealing with people's fear, self-doubt, guilt, and shame about what's happening in their life. So whatever holds us back is us. And so, yeah, so it's similar, but very different. And it's a really know you, like you, and trust you business, especially in my business. And how do you go up to say to someone, you need coaching? It's like a therapist saying, you need therapy. Come see me.
I'm sure we come across that a lot too. It's, oh, I can help you. Who are you anyway? So yeah, it's amazing to me that you talk about the 5-year mark because I'm actually really close to that. This is actually my 5th year in my business. And it seems to me you're right. It's actually been really tough to kind of get things going. But that's kind of like the price we have to pay. That's the barrier to entry to get into something that's awesome, to see if we can actually make it up to 5 years. And then by the time you get to to the fifth year or just there, it seems like things start actually coming together, because that's what's been happening to me too.
Yeah, it's
So I
true.
really appreciate that. The thing you said, the shame, could say those things again. Shame, what was it?
Fear, self-doubt, guilt, shame.
I got
Guilt is I did something bad, you did something bad, they did something bad. Shame is I am bad, they are bad. It's all bad. So that's
th- they sound very similar to what I call the four hurdles of stop, the four things that stop us from getting across the start line. We actually talked about it a little bit before we actually started recording. Tell me a little bit about that, because they sound so similar to what I'm doing.
I call that the game often played. So I developed a process in 2015 and I registered with the US Patent Office for mental health and wellness and therapy and coaches. So I can license that process and I use it for my coaching business. So I call that the game of 10. And I call the four pillars that you call basically the game often played versus the game of 10. And most people operate from people I talk to who are interested in coaching, they're pretty high in awareness. And 1 through 10, if you're a one, you're probably very depressed and want to do yourself in because you get 10% of what you ask for in life. And it goes up 20%, 30%, up till 90%. 90% people are pretty happy, but they still want that 10% fear, self-doubt, guilt, and shame, or you call it the four pillars, to motivate them. So I think that the best motivation is not fear, it's awareness and love of passion of what you do. That is the best motivation you can ever have. So people who operate from fear or the four pillars, it works, but you're also going to get stress, depression, disappointments, and it's a roller coaster. So I like the even plane of 10 to work from. It's infinite too, but most people think it's also inner peace. And a lot of people are addicted to drama. So it must be boring having inner peace. And it's actually very exciting and fun and infinite and lowest levels content. So that would be very boring to someone in drama. The highest is bliss. I work from that category and I love it and love helping people. So want to talk more about the four pillars? They're basically negative aspects of who we are. And we oftentimes use fear as a motivator. Fear is the major one. The Course in Miracles has two. You're either loving or you're either operating from fear or love. And fear is, I've heard you say in the last podcast, false evidence appearing real. So do you want to work through illusion or do you want to work through truth? And I love truth. I'm a truth seeker. And I find out all kinds of stuff. I think, wow, I didn't expect that. So
Yeah, at the same time, when we find that truth, though, it's really enlightening. It really kind of feels like, oh wow, I didn't know that. I'm like, glad I know that now, so I could get to the next level of where I need to go. So it's important to actually find that truth when we're looking, so we know what we're doing, so we know where the next thing we need to go. Because like you said earlier, we don't want to be in a place of illusion where it's like it's not really the truth.
and that's going to way get you off your path. All right. And awareness is all about aligning with the truth. And when you're aligned with the truth, you're on that super highway. And lies that you believe, thoughts that you believe that are lies will throw you off and get you off the track and into I call it stay in the lane, stay in the highway, going 90 miles an hour. And if you get off your path, you're going to go into the rumble strip, the gravel, the guardrail, and the ditch. And once you're in the ditch, it takes a tow truck to get you out.
Yeah, but we're the tow truck, right? You and me as coaches, we're the tow truck to get you out
I
of it,
I want
right?
to get I want to get people before they hit the ditch.
Yeah,
I
true.
think sometimes I would prefer someone to a therapist if they've been in the ditch for a while. And then after you do that, then come see me.
There you go.
Okay? Get your other issues taken care of and come see me when you're ready for success. So some people are ready. You've got to, in coaching, what I've found is it's two-way street. They've got to want it so badly that it's like going to the gym and you say, this is what I want to look like. They get this perfect body. This is what you got to do. So you got to do the work.
And you have to be willing to do the work, because it is definitely work. It's not you go once or twice and then suddenly you have a sculpted body. And you really don't know, you really don't know exactly how long it's going to be. You know that the process works because it's been proven over and over again. But for
Yeah,
you as an individual, you really don't know how long it's going to be. So the only thing you could really do is just do it on a daily basis and just see what kind of progress you can make.
exactly. And modify your diet, modify your sleep, modify your exercising. And it's always going to be resistance. And there's resistance to life, there's resistance to success. And know that's part of who we are, that we've, let me put it this way. When I created the game of 10, it's from the assumption that we are all 10. We're born 10. That is our innate divine being is 10. And through life, minor disappointments, medium disappointments, major disappointments, and traumas that get us to a level. And if those traumas or disappointments are chronic and consistent, we get stuck there. And that is our own glass ceiling. So there's a lot of work. Once we believe that we have negative thoughts about ourselves, and we've been told telling ourselves that day in, day out, those are hard to get over. And hard, first you got to say it, think it, believe it. Once you hit the belief, you're good. But if you believe something that's negative, it's powerful, just as powerful, not as powerful, but powerful, very powerful to break that limited belief, limited mindset of I'm not good enough, I don't do enough, I don't have enough, I'm not right, and I'm not doing my best, and I'm not 10. Those are hard to break through. So I tell people that working with me, I'll get you to 10. It's easy. Staying there is hard. And you're going to have to go through all the stuff that comes up when you declare yourself 10. Your subconscious and your ego will come in and say, what about this? Remember this? Remember you did this to that person? Remember you did that? Remember you remember? And so you've got to, I teach them also how to let it go. And hopefully for this podcast, I can teach them how to let it go. Because if they start saying the phrases of the game of 10, it opens up a can of worms that if you're not prepared, it's like people who do hallucinogenic drugs for therapeutic reasons, it opens up a can of worms that if they're not prepared for, they're going to have an experience they're not ready for. So
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit about this. The ego likes to keep its job and will do anything that it can to stay with you. We spend a lot of time trying to get over
mhm.
our ego and to move ahead, but it's going to fight back because that's what it's meant to do.
It will always win because it is you. And mine will always win because I created mine, you created yours, and it knows everything to use against you. That's its job. It's our job to its job to keep us in our physical body. It's our identity. It's who we think we are. It's we think we're our thoughts. We think we're our feelings. We think we're our emotions. We think we are our body. We think we are our mind. We think we are our identity. All the thinking is the first thing that comes to form from an idea. So it goes alignment, idea. Oh, put it into action, thought. And then you believe this thought. If something works over and over again, and it's worked, and then 10 years later, this has always worked before. Why doesn't it work now? Because things change. So it's really about keeping your mind open and malleable so that you have an awareness that this worked then, it doesn't work now. People aren't buying buggy whips anymore, not for the reasons they used to use them for. So that there's that. Yeah, it's really keeping your mind open to ideas versus thoughts. Thoughts are things to let go of. And people think they have to forgive or let go of a person, place, or situation. They have to forgive the thought about them. It's
And it's
not
what
the
we,
person.
and it's what we do with that thought is what makes us who we are.
It's what we do with that thought will add to your identity, which is our ego. Okay. So if you're identified as a CEO of a major corporation, you've been doing this for 30 years and everyone just touted you on CNBC every week and everything, and you get your board of directors fires you next week. Okay. If your identity is wrapped up in that, there's a big 10 down to 2. Okay. So it's really great to to be aware that we have this image, but know that we are not that image. That this is an image I've worked for through being hopefully ethical, okay, and hopefully being having a great life, great relationships with people, and doing your best. And chances are you're not going to get fired. But it's sometimes if you're identified with that image that you've created, that's where the imposter syndrome comes in. If you're a horrible human being and everyone loves you, you're going to know the truth, what you're doing. Okay. So that's the gap. So who you think you are and what you've portrayed to others, if you're a three, just evil person, but has the image of being so wonderful, then perfect narcissist, basically. And that is where the imposter syndrome comes in, that gap. And it really is where a lot of addictions come in too, to fill in that gap when it's not authentic.
So the difference between what you're actually, the image you're actually portraying and your reality that you're showing yourself
Yep.
is the gap that we're talking about. Is that right?
If your image is not aligned with 10, then there's a gap. And that's the room. If you're nine, you probably have an ego, but not that big of one. But if you're a one or two, it's huge. And you may come across as, oh, you might be $50,000 in debt looking at it to rent a Ferrari. Okay. And that's what I'm talking about. That's
Uh,
exaggeration.
I like that analogy. That makes a lot of sense.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Something you said a little bit earlier I want to touch on is the word you said, glass ceiling. And the
Mhm.
reason why I want to kind of go back to that is because when I was a few years ago, you wouldn't even recognize me at this point. I was nowhere near what I am today. And the reasons I thought I didn't know I had a ceiling to hit. And every time I hear glass ceiling, thank you, editing. When I hear glass ceiling, it's because I didn't see that I actually had a ceiling until somebody told me it was there. And then,
Right.
oh, now I could see the ceiling. Now I know what I need to do to get over that ceiling. And that's kind of how I portray. What do you think?
Someone oftentimes you always hear think outside the box. My answer is what box? What my answer to you is what ceiling? There is no ceiling. We're limitless. There is gravity, there is or whatever they're calling it now, density, and it is relative. And yeah, there is that. You have to play by the laws of nature, but there is once you're playing with nature, then you're playing the game often played. It's natural laws versus man-made laws. You have to abide by man-made laws, of course, but you want to push them as far as you can without getting thrown in. You push their laws are not made to be broken. They're made to be push them as far as you can so you don't get arrested and that without hurting other people. That's my opinion. Glass ceiling, there is no glass ceiling that up to what we can do with our imagination. I think we've seen that. I've seen that in my lifetime with the rotary phones and look at us today. Dick Tracy was science fiction back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Down to the televisions and our watches and
Mhm.
messages between each other like that. And now we're actually experiencing that today.
Yeah, it's our new normal. So I think that it's limiting beliefs are actually what they are. I'm going to say that I did a LinkedIn post last week that said, what if the only thing you had to believe in is yourself? And that even means for believing in our divinity or God within us. Okay. Because that's who we are. And we have an ego. Okay. So we have to work. You can't work again. You can't fight with it. It will win every time. So you don't play with it. You don't just because it knows you better than you do. It remembers everything. It's a hard drive that remembers everything about you and will use it against you if you try to use it for running your life. It will get you in the ditch eventually. Yeah.
And
So
we got to
you
stay,
don't,
we definitely need to stay away from that ditch.
you do want to stay away from the ditch.
That's right.
The ditch is a bit.
All right. So at that point, it seems to me like we've hit a couple of great points here on your pillars, the game of 10 and that kind of thing. Which one of those things have you come across most often, you think, as far as the people that you've talked to? What's the most common thing that you've come across to when it comes to, say, like my four hurdles of stop, imposter syndrome, perfection, failure, and fear? Those are mine. When it comes to yours, what do you think most entrepreneurs are experiencing more than anything else right now?
I think stuck. They've reached their imaginary ceiling and they're stuck, you know, stuck in the firmament, so to speak, and they can't get past it and they can't figure out what it is. So my job is to say, listen to what they say. Are they saying words like should, would, could? Okay. Guilt, shame. Okay. If they say things like need, want, then those are lack words. And so I look, see where if something's lacking, where's the gap? What is, so when you said you need something, what does that mean? Or you say that you want something, why don't you have it? What's standing? I was on a podcast the other day and we are talking about business. What's holding you back from where you want to be? And I said, me. He goes, you're the third person to say it. It's the only answer you can say because it is the absolute truth that if something's holding us back, we are. And we have to take 100% personal responsibility because if something wasn't inside us that was holding us back, then we'd have it.
Absolutely. We really have to look at the person in the mirror and say, why are you holding me back?
Yeah.
And I find that even in myself too, I held myself a lot of back in a lot of ways because a lot of times I'm still learning. But at the same time,
Yep.
I need to allow myself to learn the steps that I need to take. That
Yep.
way I can move on with what I need to do. But let's take responsibility for the actions that we do
Without beating yourself up
without
along the
beating
way.
yourself up. That's right.
100%. That's one another rule of the game of 10. You're going to be making mistakes upon learning. The thing is, I don't know everything. I don't. And I don't want to know everything right now. So having an I don't know, so many people that are afraid to not know. They're afraid to be wrong because if they don't know, they feel guilty about that. And if they are wrong, they feel shame, believe it or not. That's why people will defend themselves to the hilt for saying that they were wrong because they don't want to admit they were wrong and the shame they're going to feel around it. Isn't that, to me, that is just bizarre because I love being wrong and I love not knowing. And those are things you want to love because that opens up your mind to finding out.
Being wrong opens up the learning process that we need
Yeah.
to go through to be right the next time or whatever it
Yeah,
is.
I heard a great thing on TikTok yesterday, and it was a parable sort of a story metaphor about the you don't know what the picture of the puzzle is. You get a whole these 500 pieces, okay? And you're making mistake after mistake to put these things together, but after the 10th thing, you find where this piece goes. And by the time you're done and you've made so many mistakes, but you've also made successes along the way by finding that right piece that goes there, and eventually you get the whole picture. And that's what our goals and that dreams and aspirations are. It's the whole picture. But so many people with perfectionism or imposter syndrome, they don't want to be wrong. So they can't make these mistakes that are not mistakes. They're learning. They're getting to be skillful. You want to find the flat edges to make the frame of the puzzle. Yes, now I can start looking at the colors, patterns. Now I can start looking at what it is. And hopefully you got a picture to go by. But I think in our mind, we do have a picture we're going by when we have goals and aspirations and dreams of our dream life. And the other thing is, in the game of 10, there's 6 phrases I'd love to go over because they're very powerful. I think it
Oh
would
yeah,
help you.
definitely. Yeah, let's go over 'em.
All right. I don't know how we're doing for time, so
No, no such thing. Let's do the thing.
okay,
Yes.
let's do it. Okay. Repeat after me 6 phrases. When you say that you are 10, it means you're an aspect of you are the highest level of awareness that you are. Okay. So I'm 10.
Everybody do this with me. I am
Yes.
10.
I'm doing the best that I can with the awareness that I have.
I'm doing the best that I can with the awareness that I have.
I'm always right with the awareness that I have.
I'm always right with the awareness that I have.
I am enough.
I am enough. That's a big one for me. Yes.
I do enough.
Say it again.
I do enough.
I do enough.
I have enough.
I have enough.
That's it.
That's it.
Those,
Awesome.
those, those six phrases shut off our ego from chattering to us. It answers all the questions in any different ways that ego can ask questions. Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do that? Da, 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 da. It shuts it off. And awareness, it shuts off the thought, the reticular activating system that wants to keep you safe, to check. Okay. It shuts off the OCD checker in you, us, that just, did you do this? Did you do that? Did you cause it? It shuts down your awareness. So awareness, by definition, is no thought. So you're operating from intention into an intuition and knowing. So it's clear mind. You've heard the blank slate. So it creates a blank slate so that when you do get an idea that comes in, it's present moment. And then you turn it into a thought. So you got right brain, left brain, thought. Then you have a choice: action, or three choices: action, no action. No, you have two choices: action or no action.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. And then let it go. Write it down. If you don't want to
And
do it now, write it down.
yeah, but don't just put it in your phone or type it in there. Physically have a pen and paper and write it down, because now you're not just using your eyes, but you're using physical movement, you're
Good
using your
point.
senses. You could
Yeah.
feel the pencil on the paper, and the more senses that you can use to actually write that down, the more it's going to be ingrained in your head that it's something that needs to be done.
Yep, it's a good point. Very good point. Because the thing is, either take action upon it or stop. Don't complain about it. So the first phrase is a declaration of who we are. The next two phrases, I'm doing the best I can with the awareness that I have. I'm always right with the awareness I have. Those are declarations of our innocence. No guilt, no shame. The next three phrases, I am enough, I do enough, I have enough, put us in present moment awareness. The I am is who we are, and the universal quantity, nobody ever gets this. I'm not going to put you on the spot because you won't. I've never had anyone get it. I've had one person get it. And do you want to play that game?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm interested now.
What is the universal quantity? The
Well,
universal portion, the universal space. It's not infinity. It is infinite, but it's not infinity.
oh, I've no, yeah, you got to enlighten
Well,
me on that one. Yeah,
and you've said it three times in the past 5 minutes.
enough.
You're the only person, one of two people, about 300 people that I've said, I'll give you 3 months worth of coaching if you get it. That's how confident I am. I didn't do it with you, but
Darn,
you
I should
do
have
it.
waited.
Yeah, no, I know. Enough is the universal quantity. Now is the universal time. The present moment now, Eckhart Tolle, now is always enough.
You
And
always
it puts
have enough time. It's
you
there.
well, time isn't a man-made concept, first of all.
Yes. Yes.
It's man-made. It's not, time is infinite. In the present moment has always been the infinite present moment. Back 2 million years ago, it was now. Okay, then. Now is then, and now is now, and it's infinite. And the infinite space is enough. And what that does by knowing that, it really, those three phrases put you in a state of grace and gratitude. So innocence, grace, gratitude, divine being, basically. It's all in one. And it's that the ego says, yeah, I can't compete with that. You win. You win that game. Okay.
Yeah.
I can beat you at the game often played or the four pillars every time, but it can't win in the game of 10 and awareness of it. So if an ego is a tool, thoughts are tools, use it as a tool, okay, to identify who you are. If you went into a supermarket, what's your name? I'm a divine being. That's not what I asked. Let me call nine. Said, please stay there. I'm going to call 911. Yeah.
I think the one phrase in those six phrases that really strike me more than anything else is
Mhm.
I have enough. There are so many times where I come across people that I've
Mhm.
coached or even just talked to on the road. I don't have this ready, or that's I don't have that, and I don't have enough time, or I don't have
Mhm.
enough this.
Mhm.
It's there. You actually do have enough. It's your own thinking that's stopping you from actually moving on.
If you knew that every thought was a prayer, why would you even say that? And say, I don't have enough time. You're right. I don't have enough this. You're right. I don't, and you won't. How come I don't have enough time? Because you keep saying I don't have enough time. We brainwash ourselves, and if people knew how powerful our will is, our free will, if you're playing the four pillars of the game off to play it, it ain't free. Okay? It comes at a cost. But if you play the game of 10 and aligned with our will, then it's free. Things come to you. And you say, thank you. Okay, thank you. And that's enough. That's enough for now, this day. All right. And then tomorrow, it's a new enough. And you basically set boundaries of this is a yes, this is a no, this is a stay, this is a go. And you have to really I was talking to a guy who wanted to get me more clients. I'm doing another project. And I said, I don't want to take you on. I don't want to be so inundated with business that I hate my job.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to create that, a tough business to have, but I'm doing something right now that I'm pretty sure is going to work with another couple coaches. So it's too much is just as bad as not enough.
Yeah, just getting over and dated with too much stuff, it's going to stop you because it's going to confuse you, or it's just it's you're not going to be able to handle it. It's going to be too
I,
much.
I was just looking at another. I love, I call TikTok research and development. What do you, yeah, I'm doing research and development. They're showing Michael Jackson had six 20,000 foot warehouses of stuff, just stuff. Some of his stuff was Rolls Royces and stuff. You can just have so much stuff that it's, you have to pay someone to take care of it. Just take care. I'm going to give you $100,000 a year to take care of my stuff.
Yeah.
So,
I think the phrase that comes to mind at this particular point is the universe gives you what you're looking for. So if you think you don't have enough,
yeah.
then you're right. What did they say? If you think you're wrong, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard another part the universe says yes. I'm a failure. Yes. I'm a success. Yes. I don't have enough time. Yes. I have the perfect amount of time. Yes. So why not say this? If you're going to think this way, but when you get over the addiction of thinking, you have complete awareness. And it's such a different level. You can get to 9 by positive thinking, but you can't get to 10 by thinking at all. And that's a tough thing for people who are conditioned to think and really traumatized by it. I remember in school, think, what were you thinking? Why don't you think? Think. Fuck. I got to be a better thinker versus, hey, this is how you stop your thoughts and be aware. I wish I had a mentor that I actually did and didn't know it. I thought he was weird in high school, and now I know he's a genius. And he's probably one of my best teachers. He had us reading 1984 and Brave New World and all these great things about what's happening today. And just thought, this guy is really weird. And now I think he was probably one of the best teachers I've ever had. He taught us how to critically think. And one of his biggest things was he'd walk into a group of us as teenagers. He'd roll his eyes and he'd go, "It won't work." It won't work.
That's
And
great.
yeah, it is. Yeah, he was great.
So what I'd like to know here is, and I think we've given a lot of great advice to new entrepreneurs up to this point.
Mhm.
If you all listen to this episode over again, go back, listen to it over again to everything that Steve has said, because it's really important that you understand everything that happened here today. But if you came across a new entrepreneur physically and just started
Mhm.
talking to him, what's one good, solid piece of advice that you would give them? What's one first step you would have them take?
Know that you don't know anything and hang around people that do and take the best person that you have a dream of what you want and find someone who's accomplished it and take them to lunch and you pay because you're getting free advice and they're not used to having someone else pay for them and they're going to remember you and they're going to want to help you. So I don't care, take them to save your money and take them to the best ask them, find out what their favorite restaurant you buy, okay? Because they're going to give you some great advice and they're going to want to be on the phone with you to help you out. Most of them will. So find the one that you know can trust, who's really succeeded. And also I love the phrase, be the average of the room. If you're the smartest in the room, get out of that room and be the average. Don't be mentoring to people who want to get to where you are so that you can be mentored by people where you want to get to. Okay? Because you're all 10, but your awareness needs in a certain, here's a good point. Everyone is 10. Our skill level as an entrepreneur can be 1, and you can still be a 10. So you can develop your skill level, but you can't develop your awareness because you're gonna meet that level of awareness and align with it. So you're always 10. So your being is 10. I am enough is 10, always. And your have enough is 10. Your enough has to stay in that enough because if you I don't have enough, then you limit it. If you have too much, okay, can't have it, can't have it. So there's a fine line between can't have it and can't have it. One is too much and one's not enough. So you want to be in the sweet spot, which is enough. So just know that as a violinist, I'm probably a 1. If there was 0 in the game, I'd be a 0. So I don't even it's not who I am. So our skill is not who we are. We develop that. That's our identity. That's our skill. That's our trade. So just because you haven't reached the level of income or success that you think it is, it has nothing to do with who you are. So that's a big one. And don't beat yourself up along the way because beating yourself up does not make you better. It actually limits you and punishes you for making mistakes. That's where perfectionism comes in.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. I love that. It's funny because I wrote down, "Don't be the smartest person in the room," and you already hit
Yeah.
it. So,
I'm not the smartest one in this group with every people, and there's so much I don't know. That's why I love learning. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I thought this, and it was really this. So I love being wrong. Okay. I love finding out. And it makes life fun when you don't know. And some people come to me when they got anxiety. Oh my God, this happened, and this happened, and I don't know what's going to happen next month. My response is, when did you ever?
that didn't change.
That didn't change. They laugh. They will be depressed. Have anxiety. When did you ever? And
Mhm.
every one of them has burst into laughter because this is how the mind and the ego will trick you into thinking you knew. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I promise you, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I can look at my calendar, but even that's going to change. So I have a rough idea, but even then, I don't know. I'm 70. I don't know. I plan on my goal is a lot longer, but I don't know.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Speaking of goals, I'm actually glad you brought that up. I do have a tradition with all my guests. What I'd like to know here is I know you said you're starting a new coaching business. So, in the next
Well,
six months,
I'm 5 years into it, so
5 years into it, still learning, right? We're always constantly learning.
I'm an infant in this business.
So I'd like to know here is if you have a 6 month goal for yourself and what
Mhm.
you're doing, what do you got planned for yourself for the next 6 months?
Next 6 months, good question because I'm excited about teaming up with 2 other coaches. We're going to have a 3-person team. Clifford Starks, former MMA fighter, Hall of Famer. I think I don't know how he got in the Hall of Fame. I think it's because he did it in 1 year, which is unheard of. So he's part of my group. And then Ted McLyman, McLyman, has written 5 books on wealth and belief systems in wealth, consciousness, basically. So we're on the same page of the game of 10, much like your 4 pillars. It's our shtick. You gotta have a shtick and you gotta have a platform. And I think any good business has some sort of what they're known for. So they're going to start out, we're going to do masterminds to get people to invite them to it. If they like what they see, sign up. They're going to work with me for mindset for the first month. We'll have a weekly 3-person group. I'll do 10 minutes of the game of 10. Cliff will do the fighter's formula, and Ted will do his wealth management magic. I, I, I forgot what his name of his thing is, but it's very similar to open-mindedness to wealth, really creating. And so then I'll do the 4 weeks with me. Then they move on to Ted for wealth management, and then they work. Cliff will finish them off the last, polish them up, and get them, send them on their way for the next 2 months. If they want to stay on with us, great, that's fine too. But that's what we're doing, and I'm pretty excited about that. And I really don't want, I didn't want to work alone. At 70, I want to have fun with people, and I want to do it with somebody. It was, I pretty much did it alone in the flower business, and it's lonely at the top. But they say, as Ken Blanchard said, but what a view. And I want to be at the top with people in the top of their field. I want to share that laughter, make fun with people, not of people, but with them. Did you hear what I said? That was funny. Okay. So I want to have it be fun. I want the people that join us to have fun because it's hard work. And if you got people who are going through their change and personal growth and development, it's good to share with stories with others. So that's what we're going to do. So thank you for asking.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'd like to do here with you, Steve, is I'd actually like to follow up with you in 6 months and see where this amazing trio has taken you and the types of new experiences you've had with you and your friends, and see what kind of people that you've helped and that kind of thing. Would that be okay if I followed up with you in six
I would
months?
love that. Maybe we could have you on our panel or have you join us for a weekly meeting sometime and tell us about what you do and what you've experienced too. That would be fun.
Oh, I'd have a
Yeah.
blast doing that,
Yes,
especially
you
with the kind
would.
of guys you're talking about there. That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah, we're pretty fun.
All right. All right, Steve, this is your time to shine. This is a time where I want you to kind of advertise yourself. How do we get a hold of you? I want to know a little bit more about how we get into this new program you're talking about, if you can, and all that good stuff. Okay.
Check out LinkedIn. It's called the 10th round. So write that down, the 10th round. It's going to be on LinkedIn. We're going to be doing LinkedIn challenges on that. To reach me for private coaching right now, it's www.stevebartoncoaching.com. Check out my website. I have a book that called I wrote with my 18-year-old son when during COVID. Marianne Williamson was my coach. She was grounded. I don't know if anyone knows her, who she is. 13 times, 7 times New York Times bestseller. So I had some great people behind me teaching me. So go into my website, scroll down to the bottom, download the book. You're going to get on my mailing list, and we'll keep you posted on that if you get on the mailing list. That would be a great way to keep in touch with us. So other than that, LinkedIn, Steve Barton, I think I do great. I'm telling myself I do. I know I do great posts. I think they're great. We could use some people commenting, liking, sharing, to get more people to see them. So that's how you reach me. Thank you for letting me be blatantly advertising
I wanted to
myself.
give you an opportunity because that's kind of, we're talking to the people that you want to be with. And I want to make sure everybody has an opportunity to take advantage of, be a part of your world there, because it's amazing. Thank you
Well,
so
thank
much
you.
for doing that for us.
Thank you, Skoob. I really appreciate this. It's fun, and you're doing a great thing for people and entrepreneurs. Don't give up.
That's right.
Don't give up.
Yeah, thank you
Don't
so
give
much
up.
for being on the Undiscovered Entrepreneur Get Across the Start Line. I've learned so much in this little time that we've been together, and I hope I could see you in 6 months. Okay.
I love that, and I can believe only Scoob could get the word enough. I honest, this is no exaggeration. Probably 300 or 400 people, one person, other person's done it. All right, but out of you, so two out of probably 300 or 400 people, I do this to it because it's like I did into another podcast where I said I don't want to make. He didn't get it, and I didn't. I stopped doing it in the past because it's like you don't want to. You're gonna cut. Are we done? Are we done?
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right, School Believers. Thank you so much, and make sure you stay tuned for the wrap up. Okay, everybody. Thank you. Bye bye.